Hello guys, and welcome to another React with one weird fact about all 45 presidents of the United States. Good old America. This was suggested by Izu, just like the last video I recorded reacting to. Hope I released those in order so that sentence makes sense. Let's go ahead and watch it.
George Washington may have been the father of our country, but he never fathered any biological children.
I knew
John
that.
Adams was the
Yeah, I knew that.
defense attorney for the 8 British soldiers responsible for killing 5 American colonists in the Boston Massacre. It's fairly
Okay. I mean, is that supposed to be weird? I don't know.
well known at this point that Thomas Jefferson had an affair with his slave Sally Hemings.
I didn't know that at all.
But the lesser-known fact is her relation to his wife, Martha Wales. Martha's father was John Wales, who had an affair with Sally Hemings' mother, leading many historians to believe that Jefferson's wife and mistress were half-sisters.
That hurts my head, but like, okay. There's weirder stuff.
He may have been the smallest president we've ever had, standing at just 5'4".
You're gonna tell me we've never had a president smaller than 5'4"? Why not? Why not?
But James Madison was on the second biggest dollar bill ever printed. This is a famous painting of George Washington crossing the Delaware River. And this is James Monroe. John Quincy Adams won the 1824 election.
Dude, we had to learn the presidents, and honestly, I don't care about most of them, so I forgot most of them. Who the hell's John Monroe? I don't know. You know what I do know that's surprising is that at this time, the president and vice president were elected based on like the top 2 most votes, which is kind of crazy. Like, imagine in this most recent election if we got a Trump president and a Kamala vice president, because that's just how the votes go. So no matter what, both parties would always win. Like, that's just kind of crazy. Although back then they didn't always win. Like, there would be team ups to make sure one party, 2 candidates won instead.
Despite losing both the popular vote and the electoral college.
Go back.
Adams won the 1824 election despite losing both the popular vote and the electoral college.
How?
In 1806,
What do you wait? How?
Despite losing both the popular vote and the electoral college.
How? You can't just say that without telling me how.
In 1806.
Oh, wait. No, I don't get it. Wait, what?
Andrew Jackson challenged Charles Dickinson to a duel. Dickinson shot Jackson in the chest.
Woo.
Jackson, unfazed, raised his pistol and killed Dickinson. Jackson carried that bullet in his chest, as well as another from a different duel, for the rest of his life.
Damn.
Martin Van Buren had a New York gang named after him in the sitcom Seinfeld.
I'm taking on the entire Van Buren boys. Van Buren boys? Yeah. There's a street gang named after President Martin Van Buren?
William Henry Harrison was allegedly cursed by an American
at least he
Indian,
asked.
which, legend has it, led to his death and the deaths of 6 other sitting presidents.
Okay.
John Tyler was born in 1790 and still, as of this recording 230 years later, has 2 living grandsons.
You know, we're not that old of a country. You know? But I don't think Germany is either.
James K. Polk decided not to run for re-election in 1848 and died of cholera 3 months after leaving office. Zachary Taylor...
Fucking damn. And at the time of recording, we learned Biden decided to not run for re-election, and now apparently has cancer a couple months later.
Did run for president in 1848. 2 years later, he got sick from eating cherries and milk at a 4th of July celebration and died 5 days later. Some speculate that he was poisoned. Millard Fillmore personally fought a fire that was overtaking the Library of Congress. Franklin Pierce is widely regarded as the hottest president. James...
Are you saying Mr. Big Johnson, Lyndon B. Johnson, wasn't getting all the bitches? That it was actually Franklin Pierce? Where the hell are you? Franklin Pierce? All right, ladies. I think like 10% of you that watch me are ladies. Out of all the presidents, is he the hottest? Yay or nay? I never thought like we could ask this question, right? Because there's no female president, so we're not like rating presidents for hotness as guys, you know? So it's just not something you think about. Women, who's the hottest president? I have to know this now.
Pierce is widely regarded as
this guy?
the hottest president.
Is it
James
him?
Buchanan may have been gay. Abraham Lincoln's favorite food was oysters. Andrew Johnson never went to school. Ulysses S. Grant was supposed to be at Ford's Theater with Lincoln the night he was shot, but his wife despised Mary Todd Lincoln, and Grant didn't particularly want to go, possibly saving his life. Rutherford B. Hayes owned the first Siamese cat in America and named him Siam. After James Garfield was shot, Alexander Graham Bell tried to use a makeshift metal detector to find the bullet in Garfield's abdomen. Chester Alan Arthur chose to pronounce his middle name with the emphasis on the second syllable, so he was actually Chester Allen Arthur. Grover Cleveland was both the 22nd and 24th president. Benjamin Harrison was the last American
It's
president
like Trump did that, what, 45, 47?
with a beard. William McKinley
Say that
had a
again?
president. Benjamin Harrison was the last American president with a beard.
Why? Why and how? Like, it just seems so random.
William McKinley had a pet parrot named Washington Post. While running for a third
Why? What?
term as president on a third-party ticket, Theodore Roosevelt was shot while giving a speech in
this.
Milwaukee. The bullet lodged itself near his ribs, where
Yep.
it would remain for the rest of his life. But
Woo.
Roosevelt finished the speech.
It's like that other guy. I forgot his name already.
There's a popular myth that William Howard Taft got stuck in a bathtub while he was president. There's no real evidence that that actually happened, but Taft did get stuck in a lifetime appointment to the Supreme Court after being president, the only president to do so. Woodrow
Yeah, that sounds kind of surprising. Like, I would never think that the leader of the executive would go on to be one of the leaders of the judicial. I've never conceptualized that in the slightest. That is actually pretty interesting.
Wilson kept a flock of sheep on the White House lawn. In 2014, letters between Warren Harding and one of his mistresses were released to the public, revealing that Harding used Jerry as a code name for his penis. Calvin Coolidge was
Jerry Johnson. What was his name again? Just Warren G. Harding. Come on, like, last name's Harding. You couldn't have done something better than Jerry?
that Harding used Jerry
Johnson. What about Lyndon B. Big Dick Johnson?
as a code name for his penis. Calvin Coolidge was known
Warden G.
that Harding used
Jerry
as a
Harding.
code name for his penis. Calvin Coolidge was known as Silent Cal. Legend has it that during a dinner party, a woman bet him that she could get at least 3 words from him during the evening. At the end of a silent night, Coolidge turned to her and said, "You lose." Herbert Hoover was a Quaker.
But, like, why? Like, just what? Why? How about, like, alright, random bitch, get away from me. Like, what?
Franklin Delano Roosevelt was married to Anna Eleanor, the niece and goddaughter of then-President Theodore Roosevelt. Oh, and she was also his 5th cousin.
What? Oh, God. Alright, slowly, please.
Franklin Delano Roosevelt was married to Anna Eleanor.
Okay. FDR married to Eleanor.
The niece and goddaughter of then-President Theodore Roosevelt.
Descendant of Theodore Roosevelt.
Oh, and she was also his 5th cousin.
And was his 5th cousin. I mean, we're all something cousins, you know what I mean?
Harry S. Truman's
There's a reason that shit's legal.
parents could not decide whether his middle name should be Solomon or Ship. So they compromised and had the S stand for nothing. Dwight D.
So his middle name is literally just S. S. My name's Harry S. Truman, but you could just call me
or
S.
Ship. So they compromised and had the S stand for
Just casual Stalin, bro. Just casual Stalin right there. Just casual, one of the biggest, like, killers of all of history, just right there.
nothing. Dwight D. Eisenhower banned squirrels from the White House lawn. He had Secret Service catch them and release them into Rock Creek Park so that they wouldn't damage his putting green. The average person can read 250 to 300 words per minute.
Okay.
John F. Kennedy could reportedly read 1,200 words per
Did we just go from 2 to 300 to 1,200?
minute. Lyndon B. Johnson started his career as a teacher. In order to make ends meet on a Great Depression-era teacher's salary, Johnson also worked as the school's janitor. Richard Nixon...
You telling me you told us Jerry, but you didn't tell us about Johnson? What the heck are your priorities, sir?
...was a Quaker. Gerald Ford was a model. Jimmy Carter swears that he saw a UFO. Ronald Reagan was an actor and was almost strangled to death by a chimp while filming 1951's Bedtime for Bonzo. George H.W. Bush celebrated his 85th birthday by skydiving. In 2012, while appearing on NPR's Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me, Bill Clinton correctly answered 3 trivia questions about the television show My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. George W. Bush owned...
What a random thing to share. What a random thing to share. What the heck?
the Texas Rangers and infamously facilitated the trade of Sammy Sosa. David Beckham gave Barack Obama 50 pairs of boxer briefs. Donald Trump may have bathmophobia, which is an irrational fear of stairs. Know any more weird?
Why? What does bathmo mean? Why are we done? There's 2 more. I guess 5 years ago. That's why.
Weird facts about presidents? Leave them in the comments. If you like this video, be sure to hit the thumbs up.
All right, yeah, a lot of those were really weird. I don't remember most of the names. I mean, like, I've heard of most of these guys. I can't remember the names of 45 motherfuckers I don't care about, you know what I mean? I don't even remember the names of new friends that I make half the time. Names are hard, okay? But that was, yeah, a lot of that was surprising and interesting, especially Mr. Jerry, whoever he was, and they didn't share the Johnson stories. Come on. Come on. Anyway, if you want to see me react to anything, leave your suggestions in the comments below. Otherwise, if there's a link, put that in the Discord in the description below, because YouTube will eat links. But for now, thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.